Jan Vesley, if you're listening,
Fuck you, man.
fuck you.
Oh, come on.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Six Balls One Basket podcast. We're here again. It's our return. And we're going to be doing a redraft today. We're doing the 2011 draft. Bill Simmons on his podcast did from 1998 to 2010. So we figured we'd just pick up where he left off and do the 2011 draft. And the 2011 draft, for those who don't remember, was a weird fucking draft. About a lot of interesting stories, a few of which I wrote down here. It had the last of the Hainsboroughs in it, the Thompson brothers, Jimmer Fredette, Josh Selby, Jan Vesely, the Morris twins who went back to back. There were a lot of like huge flops and players that no one expected to succeed, doing great things. And in this draft, we already determined our order of how we're going to redraft it. It's going to go me, then Bertolini, then Matt. And I think a lot of the times in real life, they pick like the right person first, but I don't think that was the case. And I think with the first pick in the 2011 draft, you got to go Kawhi Leonard. Are you guys with me? Am I off?
Yeah, I also had him.
Yeah, I think this is just an easy choice here.
Yeah, he's just the best player.
Yeah, he's fourth in average points in this class, second in win shares, first in VORP. I don't really know what VORP is, but I know it's like the big nerd stat. He was the first player to ever have his number retired by San Diego State. And do you guys want to guess when when he got his first triple-double in the NBA?
Is it like earlier?
In his rookie season.
Nope, it was January of 2020.
Wow.
Actually, it doesn't surprise me because I feel like his playmaking came at a later time.
Yeah.
I just figured he would have got there with blocks or steals or something.
Maybe.
Yeah. He's not a big assist guy. 2.9 average for his career. So that makes sense.
And this pick was obviously the Cavaliers. It could have been the Clippers, but they made a horrible trade for Mo Williams that did not work out. And in real life, Kyrie Irving went there, and that brought LeBron. But do you guys think Kawhi Leonard would have brought LeBron? Would that have brought that same kind of like luster? Would they have traded him away and kept Andrew Wiggins? But
I don't know if Kawhi would have developed the same in Cleveland, just surrounded by a bunch of shitty players, having to take over right away.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like his career path would be slightly different. I'm not really sure how, but
I mean, if he developed the same as he did in San Antonio, him and LeBron and Kevin Love in Cleveland would be insane.
Yeah, it'd be unstoppable, really.
it maybe would have gotten someone else than Kevin Love, right? Because
Yeah, you're
probably.
Love was the third person to join.
It probably would have been a point guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a shooter at that. Because neither of those guys really had a great three-point shot, at least in Kawhi's early years.
Darren Williams or Steve Nash or Chris Paul. I don't know.
Maybe Chris Paul.
That was what, 2014 LeBron came back?
I think so.
Yeah, I also believe so. Let's see.
Yeah, who knows who they would have picked up, but they would have been a dynasty for sure. They would have won more than one championship.
Yeah, definitely. But now we got the second pick, Bertolini. This is the Minnesota Timberwolves. In real life, they got Derek Williams, which at the time really wasn't a bad pick. I was looking at Derek Williams' numbers. He averaged 19 and 8 in college.
Yeah, he was really good. But this one, for me, I had a hard time picking between Jimmy Butler and Kyrie, and I ended up going with Jimmy Butler. Even though Kyrie has a ring, I feel like at this point we know that Kyrie can't do it by himself, and Jimmy Butler took that Heat team to the finals.
I think you're forgetting one big name, Bertolini.
Yeah, I'm actually like shocked you went Jimmy Butler here, and I also think you missed one.
Who's that?
Klay Thompson.
Yeah, well, put Klay Thompson on any other team than the Warriors. You don't know how that's going to work out.
I almost picked Klay Thompson first.
Really?
Yeah, like I was really considering it. That's why it was so hard for me.
Don't get me wrong, he's probably one of the best shooters of all time, but I think his production at this point in his career is the way it is, a lot of because of the Golden State system that he, played in, and also playing besides Steph Curry.
Also, interesting angle, if you drafted Klay Thompson, then he'd be teamed up with Kevin Love, who he was actually childhood friends with, and their dads were teammates on the Lakers. So that'd be a whole new thing. They played like Little League Baseball and stuff together. Found that in my research. Also, Klay Thompson's brother got drafted in this draft.
Really?
Michael Thompson.
Yeah.
Isn't he a baseball player?
No, I think that might be another one.
He's another brother.
Probably. I mean, let's see. Where's he at? Yeah, Michael Thompson out of Pepperdine University. And also, he went to Stone Ridge Prep for his senior year before he went to Pepperdine. And that's the school that Enes Kanter, or Vucevic was drafted out of. No, it was Enes Kanter. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So they could have went to school together. And then Enes Kanter went third. And Michael Thompson did not get drafted. He signed with the team. But while we're talking about the third pick, I guess Bertolini went Jimmy Butler. That shocks the shit out of me, honestly. I had Jimmy Butler fourth on my big board, but
Jimmy Butler to Minnesota before he got traded there.
Yeah.
I guess just bully, I don't know,
Kevin Love.
Ricky Rubio instead of Karl Anthony Towns.
Kevin Love has known struggles with his mental health. Would Jimmy Butler be good for it?
Absolutely not. It's a terrible fit. But I gotta respect it. Jimmy Butler, great talent.
I'm just saying, if you slide in Klay Thompson to that Minnesota team at that point in time, how much better do they actually get? Still better, but Klay Thompson's not your number one, and they need a number one, or at least that team did.
Fair.
I don't know. To me, Klay Thompson could be a number one, but it's not my pick. You picked Jimmy Butler, and I think he would work out if he was like the star of the team.
Yeah, him and K-Love.
All right. Third pick. I don't want to send Kyrie number 4 to Cleveland, so I'm going to take Kyrie with the third pick right here to Utah. I feel like Kyrie and Klay, it's a toss-up. They're both great. And what was Utah like back then? Was that when they had like Al Jefferson? They just traded away Darian Williams. That's why they have this pick.
I'm looking at the roster right now. They had Derek Favors, Gordon Hayward, Al Jefferson, Josh Howard, Paul Millsap. I mean, really, Kyrie would be good for this team.
It'd be perfect. They just got rid of Deron Williams. And, yeah, I think that'd be a great fit.
Yeah, they had some really shitty guards. Blake Ahern, Devin Harris, Jamal Tinsley, Earl Watson, Raja Bell, and Alec Burks.
That's fucking atrocious. Well, I think I'm going to go Kyrie here. He won a championship. Klay did win, 3? But
yeah.
I'm not going to take Klay here. I think what Bertolini said about the fit in Golden State, I'm not sure Klay would have been the same player on a Utah Jazz team.
I don't know. The Utah Jazz, the Utah Jazz have made a lot of people better than they were. Rudy Gobert, they brought out his strengths. They brought out Donovan Mitchell's strengths. They've made Gordon Hayward look great at times. And a lot of players looked really good in Utah and then looked not that great anywhere else. So I think Utah might be a solid place to grow and develop.
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, but I had Klay second on my big board, and that takes 3 and 4 off. So Klay Thompson's teaming up with Kawhi Leonard in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And imagine if that had really happened. That would be fucking insane. They wouldn't even need LeBron at that point.
I don't know about that.
They could just teach each other. Like Klay could teach Kawhi a shot, and Kawhi could teach Klay great defense. They could just lock down anybody.
Yeah. Imagine if the Cavs got this pick right. They would be absolutely insane.
Yeah, really.
Players on this board, and they went with Tristan Thompson, who's not a bad player, but like
a cheater.
Yeah,
can't respect that.
No.
But with the 5th pick, Bertolini, who are you going to take? I feel like this one's kind of obvious now.
Yeah, I had the Raptors taking Kemba Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think he's slightly better than all the other people on this list. So, I think Vucevic kind of gives him a run for his money because Vucevic is also really good. He's a 2-time All-Star, but just Kemba.
Yeah, and especially like at this time, like coming off of how hot he was at Connecticut.
Yeah.
He averaged 23 his junior season, rather, and he won all the awards. And
Vucevic was more of a late bloomer. And on a Toronto team that, wasn't necessarily like tanking or rebuilding or anything. They still had some nice players.
They had Andrea Brignani.
Yeah. He put up like 20 a game for them the previous season.
That would be a dynamic duo. And DeRozan just came in 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I guess they would never sign Lowry then. So
yeah.
That might have just fucked him over, but I think that's the right pick.
Yeah, me too. And I think it'd be like a kind of iron sharpens iron thing with young Kemba and young DeMar DeRozan. I think they'd complement each other, and then Bargnani, as long as he'd be able to stay healthy, they could be a solid, like, not big
They
three,
could,
but
they
medium
can
sized
compete.
three. Yeah, they could make the playoffs, I think.
Yeah.
Parolo, you wanna go for the 6th pick?
Yeah, 6th pick, Wizards taking Nick Vucevic, 2-time All-Star. You know, the Wizards need a center. They were starting JaVale McGee at the time, I believe. So, if Vucevic goes, teams up with John Wall, they would make a pretty nice duo.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, he's good as shit. Vucevic has put up great stats his whole career. I mean, I wish he could have stayed with the Sixers and done that, but
No, we got Andrew Bynum.
Yeah, we had to trade him away for Andrew Bynum. He's ever since his first year with the Sixers, he put up 5.5 points a game. But every year since then, he has averaged at least 13 points, and it goes up. It went up every year for the first 5 years of his career.
Yeah, no, he's just a solid player. He's a great center for today's game.
Yeah, I'm with you, like, completely.
Yeah. They also needed something to fill the void after Andre Blatch fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
He put up like 16 or 17 a game for them the previous season.
And also
at the 4 spot.
I'm glad it's Vucevic going here and not Kemba, because I don't think going to the Wizards would have been good for Kemba.
Not at all.
Yeah, I mean the John Wall was a rookie, so it's just not even. It wouldn't even happen. So
yeah, but with the 7th pick, I think it's a pretty easy pick. I'm going Tobias Harris. I hate to watch him play, especially when he's like being mediocre for the Sixers, but he's put up great numbers over his career. He's never been an all-star, but he's pretty fucking good. I didn't even realize he was on the Bucks for the first 2 years of his career. I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
I just remember him being on the Magic and him blossoming. He had 5 points a game those first 2 years on the Bucks, and then in his 3rd year dropped 17 points a game, and then he's even reached as high as 20 and had at least 18 the last 3. In the last 6, actually. So, I mean, he's just a solid scorer. He can't do it when you need it. He'll get some rebounds for you. He averages 6.1 over his career. He can shoot the 3 at a decent clip. He's just a pretty good player. He's like a good 4th man to have on your team.
Yeah, he's just kind of like constantly improved over his career and just, bounced from like team to team, never really getting like the big payday that he wanted. And then I guess in the end it all works out because now he's on a competing team like the Sixers and gets a max for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm not an NBA executive, but I don't think Tobias Harris was ever worthy of a max contract.
No, he's just the definition of a really good player who will never be like an elite, like top 30 player.
And do you want to hear how low of value that the Bucks like treated him as? He was traded along with Deron Lamb and Beno Udrih in exchange for an old JJ Redick, Gustavo Ayon, and Ish Smith. And I believe Beno Udrih was the like biggest piece in that trade.
Beno Udrih was nice back then.
Yeah, like he was just a side piece with Beno Udrih to get JJ Redick for the Bucks. And JJ Redick did nothing for the Bucks. He left after that year.
Yeah, he's really someone who just had to make a name for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tobias Harris teams up with Boogie Cousins and Tyreek Evans in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Wow, that would have been horrible.
And try to guess who their leading scorer was on that team previous season.
Was it John Salmons?
No. It was Marcus Thornton.
Ooh.
Put up 23 a game.
Wow.
But the real 7th pick, Bismack Biyombo, which we can talk about as a historically awful pick. And we missed another historically awful pick in Jan Vesely. Back to back. And we also, I feel like, should talk about how crazy it was that 6 of the first 7 people drafted were big men. Like in this league,
and there's only like 2 or 3. I want to say 4 quality big men in this draft.
Yeah.
Maybe 5.
Yeah, you never see that anymore. Like the top 5, top 6, top 7 was like majority centers.
The game's changed.
Yeah, it's wild.
Even if you go in and like, if I don't know, like I would go for research for this, I would go into Basketball Reference and just look at like the rosters of all these teams in the lottery, and I'm just looking at like the people they're playing at center. They're all at least 6'11" and at least like 240. Like
Can't shoot.
a small center. Yeah, a small center back then was like more rare than it is today.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't
And
know.
that's-
Bismack Biyombo, I wouldn't call him.
He was 6'9".
He had some good years in like Toronto and Charlotte.
He was like serviceable. He wasn't like a horrible player.
Yeah.
Like at that spot in the draft, you're not really drafting a rotational big, you know.
Yeah, he was just a bust. He was a disappointment. But also, he was traded to Charlotte, so it would have been even worse than that.
Yeah, he stuck around for a while.
He would have teamed up with whoever they picked up at 9th.
I feel like he's still not that old.
I feel like none of these players are that old. They're all like 31, 32.
Yeah.
Also, little fun fact here: Bismack Biyombo's nickname, according to Basketball Reference, is the Black Panther, which I feel like is just a disgusting reference. He should not hold that title.
Yeah, I don't think
hate
that's
that.
right either.
We should petition to get that changed.
Get that removed from
If you'd like to
Basketball
support
Reference.
that audience, please, don't be shy. We'll get the change.org.
Yeah, we'll get the ball rolling on that. And also, I forgot to mention about Tobias Harris, who we picked 7th before we got on that tangent about how awful the big men drafted was. Do you guys want to guess who his first cousin is? Another NBA player.
Is he good?
Nope.
Ooh, I have no idea.
Channing Frye.
Oh,
Should have said he has a podcast too. I could have gave better hints. That's my fault. But
wow, I did not know that.
yep, they're first cousins apparently, according to Wikipedia. Let's move on to the 8th pick. I think it's a good time for that. Bertolini, who you got number 8?
I got Valanciunas.
Wow.
I'm a big Valanciunas guy. Ben Wallace is like 34 at this point. Greg Monroe is coming off his rookie season. A little bit disappointing. And maybe they want to give it a different look.
Wow, then that throws off their whole draft trajectory. Because then do they get...
Yeah, they don't get Drummond then.
Yeah.
Next year. Valanciunas, Greg Monroe. That sounds like a terrible backcourt to me. Or front court. But,
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know. I had Isaiah Thomas mocked there, and that might seem insane, and I'll get into my Isaiah Thomas reasons. But I think he would have been a good fit for this team.
Yeah, I agree. Pistons, just that era of like early 2010s Pistons, they were just atrocious.
Yeah, they were horrible. Charlie V, Rodney Stuckey,
Corey Maggette.
Will Bynum, Ben Gordon, just these fucking rejects at this point. Tayshaun, still holding on by a thread.
Yeah, just not a fun basketball team to watch.
I was going to go Isaiah Thomas, but I just thought the defense would factor into their decision-making.
Yeah, they are the Pistons.
And also, Valanciunas, coming off of a 17-12 season, and he had the 12th best player efficiency rating in the league.
Wow.
Yeah, Valanciunas is one of those guys who my original, I guess I should wait till we get there, but I'm not gonna, I guess. My original thing had fucking Kenneth Faried and Chandler Parsons 11 and 12. Just had to keep edging them down because I just was looking at this, like I hadn't looked at the stats. I was just doing it off like I looked at the draft. And then like it's one of those players who just fucking crept up. He just like I had finished my list and then I was like, oh fuck, Valanciunas, and then I have him slotted at 10, but he has good fucking stats.
Yeah, he's just so solid.
Yeah.
And, if we're talking about longevity, I'm taking Valanciunas over Fareed and Parsons, even though at their peaks, they maybe were better than Valanciunas, but...
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. At first, I didn't think Valanciunas was, better than them. But then I looked at Chandler Parsons' stats, and they're shitty. They are not good at all. And then I looked at Fareed's, and I was like, fuck, Valanciunas is way better. He's actually, really good. And he's been really consistent over his whole career. Who do you got at 9, Perlo?
So I actually had Isaiah Thomas mocked 7th just because of that stretch he had with the Celtics. He was just, one of the best players in the league. So I'm going to take him here at 9, going to Charlotte instead of Kemba. I feel like that's a fair trade-off. Isaiah Thomas for Kemba Walker here. It's just solid overall. Obviously, he's out of the league now, but, 18 points a game on average, 5 assists. He was really good for a stretch of time in Phoenix, Sacramento, and Boston. And then his fucking hip just, ruined his career. But I mean, that one season in Boston, 29 points a game, 6 assists per game on good efficiency. I mean, I think he was top 5 MVP voting that year. And the Celtics were one series away from going to the finals. So I think it's a solid pick here.
He was ridiculous. I just like the thing with Isaiah Thomas for me is like, yeah, he did have that one season, but if you look at like his body of work for his career as a whole, I just don't really think he's that good.
I don't know. I feel like if you take out everything after Boston and you just count from his first season to like 2017, 2018, I think that's a different story. I think just his injuries just like derailed his career. But obviously he's shit at defense. I mean, he's 5'9", but
we have to factor those things in.
Yeah.
The injuries and the post, and it like his regression as a player in general.
Yeah, but at the very minimum, you're going to get 5 great years out of Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah,
so,
and I agree. He should go to Charlotte here because behind DJ Augustine, they really have nothing at point guard.
Yeah.
And nothing going on in general. I mean, they're still the Bobcats at this point in time.
Yeah, they'll take anyone they can get. And
Gerald Wallace is their best player.
Yeah, it's fucking Gerald Henderson was running the 2 guard back then. It was a mess. So, I mean, they'll take anything to sell tickets. Isaiah Thomas is a fun player to watch, so I think he goes 9 here.
So where'd you have Tobias Harris marked?
I had him at 10. I had him behind Isaiah Thomas.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. I had him at 8. And then I had Valanciunas at 9. But I did have those 3 in, like, the same group here.
Interesting. So now I got the 10th pick.
Here's where it gets difficult.
The Milwaukee pick. I think this pick's really easy. I had him marked at 9. Jimmer Fredette.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Right.
I'm going Bogdanovich. Yeah, they really picked Jimmer. I'm going Bogdanovich. I mean, Bogdanovich is a fucking dog, like through and through. He's just good as shit. I don't want to like him. He's on the Jazz. He's boring. He's not exciting to watch. But he's just a dog. He plays great basketball. He's had 6 years of over 10 points. In his first year, he had 9 points. He does good in the playoffs. He fucking shoots lights out, 39%. He shot 42% the 1 year in Indiana. He's just good. Like, I don't really know what else to say about him. He's just super good.
Yeah. I honestly like the pick, too. I didn't have that. I had Chandler Parsons mocked. In retrospect, probably not the better pick over Bogdanovich because, Bogdanovich, he still has a lot left in the tank. He's still going along, and he can fill it up.
Yeah,
Did he just have 20 this past season?
Yeah.
He's a lights-out shooter.
Yeah.
I think that's atrocious. You had Chandler Parsons going top 10 here.
Yeah, I mean, I made
the same fuck up, Bertolini.
I didn't really do that much individual research on Parsons. I just, I thought about how good he was.
No, but like once you look at the stats, you go like, fuck, like he really wasn't that good, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think Chandler Parsons is going to get drafted, so we can just...
He's not on my list, I'll say that.
He had 4 years where he averaged over 10 points. That's it.
Yeah, I think I overrated that.
1 year in Houston where he had 16 points a game and shot 37% and was just like good. But besides like those couple years, he just wasn't really that good. But yeah, that was an easy pick for me, going to Milwaukee, setting the foundation for Giannis and I don't know who else.
Yeah, but I think Brandon Jennings was their shining light.
Yeah. He did put up 55 one game.
Yeah, he averaged 16 a game over the season, so.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Yeah.
Bertolini, who you got going 11 to Golden State?
11, I have Golden State selecting Enes Kanter.
Wow.
Ekpe Udoh was the starting center. Or actually, no, Andres Biedrins was the starting center for that team. And I think you could easily slide in Enes Kanter at starting center over Biedrins. I wanted to go like a guard or a forward, but, Monte Ellis and Curry were just taking all the shots. So, I thought Enes Kanter would be a good pick and roll partner for them, grab offensive rebounds, kickouts into more threes for them. So I think he, slides into this team pretty well. Him and David Lee banging down low.
They also had Kwame Brown on that team.
Yeah, and Kwame Brown.
It was a very interesting team, when you look at it in retrospect. They had Kwame Brown, Steph Curry, Monte Ellis, Richard Jefferson, David Lee, Nate Robinson, Ish Smith, Klay Thompson, Ekpe Udoh.
Didn't they have Carl Landry for a couple years, too?
I believe they did. I don't know if they had him this year. I'm not seeing him on Basketball Reference, but as we saw last episode, or maybe that was the first episode, Basketball Reference doesn't always list everything correctly.
But, yeah, I think Kanter would be a good pick and roll partner. I think him and David Lee are just, two, huge, unathletic, just big bodies. So I think the space.
Yeah, I think you have a good 1-2 punch of just Enes and David Lee just banging down low, and then you just have Monte Ellis just chucking horrible step back mid ranges, and then Curry finding his spots, still figuring himself out.
It's crazy they got Klay all the way down here at 11. A player that literally helped change the course of their franchise, because they were 23-43 in 2011, the year after this.
Yeah.
And then him and Curry, then they traded Monte and gave the keys to Curry. And
best decision they ever made.
Oh, absolutely. All right, Matt, who you got?
All right, so for this one, I was really torn between the Morris twins. And I really don't know, Markieff Morris had the better start to his career, but obviously Marcus Morris is the better player now. So I really did not know who to take here.
Wait, I think I can sway you, Matt.
Yeah, let's hear it.
On Wikipedia, it lists that Markieff Morris, although being from Philadelphia, is a Cowboys fan, and Marcus Morris likes the Eagles.
All right, so with the 12th pick here, I'm going to go with Marcus Morris.
There we go.
He has more longevity, I guess. I mean, Markieff Morris doesn't even play now, and Marcus Morris is just he lit it up for the Clippers in the playoffs this year.
Markieff Morris is a champion, though.
He is a champion. He didn't do much to contribute to that team, but he is a champion. Yeah, I just think Marcus Morris had a pretty slow start to his career. Didn't average double digits until his third season. But yeah, after that, I mean, he's averaging 14, 16. He averaged 20 one season. So I think I'm going to take Marcus Morris here.
Yeah, I think Marcus Morris at his best is definitely better than Markieff Morris at his best. So.
Yeah, he's just a better offensive player.
Yeah.
I'd agree with you. I think it's worth noting that in the real draft they went back-to-back, which is fucking insane.
Yeah, Markieff went first.
And I believe Markieff is 7 minutes older than Marcus.
Wow.
He went first? What?
So you did your research.
Yeah, this is the kind of shit I love. I mean, I love fucking... I watched all those redraft videos 15 times.
Yeah,
I love knowing the backstory. Boring. Besides the fucking... Yeah, I like knowing all the extra shit.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to team up Marcus Morris and Kyrie Irving in Utah.
There you go.
And
he'll have a lot of bigs to learn from.
He will, yeah. Learn behind Paul Millsap, I guess.
Derek Favors.
Derek Favors, yeah.
Al Thornton. Or Al Jefferson. Not Al Thornton.
All right, I'm going to move on to the 12th pick, which was the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, that was actually the 13th pick. I just did the 12th.
Oh, well, fuck. It's the 13th pick then. I've listed 12 twice on my list. But I think, this is a pretty easy pick for me. And I feel like I've said that every time. So maybe I'll cut a few of those out. Maybe not. But I'm going Nikola Mirotic.
Whoa.
Wow.
He had 6 years of at least 10 points, 2 over 15, and in the EuroLeague these past 2 years, he averaged 19 and 15, respectively.
Yeah, he's killing it over there.
Yeah, and I think, He can help any team. He'll be a good sixth man or like a good starting wing. And there's not really that many guys that are better. I would think about taking Brandon Knight here. That's the only one I might put over him. But I had him mocked 11th over Marcus Morris. He's a dog.
Yeah, I feel like at his peak, he was like a pretty hot commodity in the NBA when like the stretch four was like the the next big thing, and like every team was seeking out like a stretch four. Like I would see like Sixers, what's it called? Like trade scenarios where they're going for like Mirotic. The Bucks ended up getting him. It was at that point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to consider the fact that, well, he didn't play till 14-15, and he only played, what, 5 seasons? 4
He
seasons?
played 6.
6, okay. So you're only getting 6 seasons out of him. Granted, he did score double digits every season, but I don't know, man. I don't know if I take him here.
I just think like no one's really better, and it's 6 seasons. And then if you can convince him not to go back to the EuroLeague, that's 8 seasons of double-digit points. Like,
if he's on the Suns, he's gonna want to go back to the.
I don't know if he's playing with Steve Nash, Ronnie Price, Michael Redd. This is like the team of the players like that could have been so great. Listen to this roster; they could have been so great. Josh Childress, Marcin Gortat, Grant Hill, Steve Nash, Michael Redd, Sebastian Telfair. Just like it's like what could have been all on an NBA team. You're 16, Grant Hill. If you throw fucking Mirotic in that, learn from Channing Frye, get those Markieff Morris minutes. I love it. I love playing that brand of basketball. All right, we'll go with the 14th pick. Bertolini, who you got? The Houston Rockets.
The Rockets are getting Alec Burks here.
Wow.
I'm just a big, I'm a fan of Alec Burks. Another guy who can, just fill it up. If you're not really paying attention, he won't seem like anything to you, but I'm a big fan, and I would have loved to see him on this Rockets team that was very early to the, advanced analytics game. Guy can shoot, get you a bucket. And at 14, what else do you really want?
I didn't even have Alex Burks on my thing.
Neither did I.
Alec, not Alex.
Yeah. Would you say you're a little biased because he was great on the Sixers last year?
Well, it's not even like he took that big of a jump from the Sixers from the Jazz. I think he was always pretty solid.
I think he just had injury problems early on.
Yeah. Alec Burks is good.
Not as good as Brandon Knight. Not as good as Reggie Jackson.
You're wrong.
I'd take Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson only started in the NBA because he was on the Pistons. And the Pistons refused to get a new point guard.
Now he starts, though, over Pat Beverly.
What an achievement.
And also, he started in OKC. He didn't really have a shot. He was playing behind Westbrook.
Yeah, who we did confirm last episode would beat anyone's ass. So
no, we didn't. We confirmed John Wall would. John Wall won the bracket.
Oh, yeah. Well, Westbrook was a close second. So, Reggie Jackson was not getting those minutes.
Close second.
Yeah, close second. But speaking of Reggie Jackson, I'm just going to move into the last pick here. With my final pick, this is a tough one, but there's some great players on the board still. Tristan Thompson's still on the board. NBA champion.
Fucking Tristan Thompson, man.
Markieff Morris is still here. Reggie Jackson. I think I'm going to go with Amon Shumpert here.
You're a fucking asshole. I'm just going to cut the podcast off right here.
No.
Yeah, I mean, Amon Shumpert, just lockdown defender. Wasn't really a scorer. Had some great years with the Knicks early on. Just an energy guy that you want off your bench. I think in Indiana, he would play well alongside Paul George.
Yeah, for a team like that was, getting ready to be something, I do think that's a pretty good pick. I personally mocked. I had Reggie Jackson / Iman Shumpert / Brandon Knight because I don't think this pick is make or break, but I do think any of those guys would have been a nice addition to that team.
Yeah, it was a toss-up for me between Reggie Jackson and Iman Shumpert, but
I feel like you got to put some more respect on Brandon Knight's name.
Brandon Knight is just, I don't know. I just can't take him seriously with all the shit that happened.
Yeah, he's just on the receiving end of so many great plays that it's so easy to just say, oh, he sucks without taking a really close look at his game.
Brandon Knight has had 8 years where he averaged over 11 points
on bad teams
with pretty bad efficiency too. He's never shot over 42% from the field in a season.
Yeah, he has.
No, he has not.
In 2014-15, he shot 43%.
That was only part of the season, though. And then he got traded, and he shot 36%.
Wow.
In 11 games.
I'm pretty sure that brings
that still skews the number.
I'm pretty sure it brings it below 42%.
Wow.
So, just shitty efficiency out of Brandon Knight here. Never been on a good team. And, yeah, he just got bitched his whole career.
He's been embarrassed.
Yeah.
On the national scale multiple times. I kind of feel sorry for him, but at the same time I don't, because he's gotten contracts that he should have never been offered in his, playing career.
Yeah. And he's only 29.
Yeah, he's still pretty young.
Yeah, and I highly doubt he'll play meaningful minutes on an NBA team ever again.
Yeah.
Never say never.
This was the 15th pick, I think, was the hardest one, honestly.
Yeah, there are a lot of good players you can slot in there.
Yeah, I feel like it's the hardest because, it's
the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we did more of this, I would have liked to see
Lavoy Allen.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'd like to see Temple products like Lavoy Allen, but I would like to see where Jimmer went, where Jan Vesely went, where Kenneth Faried went, Donatas Motiejunas. Because there were a lot of solid role players in this draft. That's the one thing about it. For all the stars, there is the Enos Cantors, the Tristan Thompsons, the Biombos, the Brandon Knights even, Alec Burks, the Morris twins, Shumpert, Motiejunas, Faried, Mirotic, Reggie Jackson. Fucking Marshawn Brooks even has been decent at times.
Norris Cole, too.
Yeah, Norris Cole.
Yeah,
Marshawn Brooks averaged 20 points a game one year.
Yeah, this is
through 7 games, but
it really was.
Yeah, and also at the top of the show, I mentioned we have Josh Selby in this draft. That might be a name you don't recognize, but he was the number 5 prospect in the country in high school. I watched one of those dumb videos about him where it's this prospect could have been so much, but he didn't. Or guess what this prospect did to get him not drafted? And then it's a person with their hands over their mouth, being so shocked, But yeah, he was the number 5 prospect, and then he went to Kansas, and he was just shitty. And then he apparently received money, so he got kicked out of Kansas.
Oh.
And then in 2011, he announced via Twitter that he would enter the NBA draft in the early days of Twitter. And then in the 2012 Summer League, he earned co-MVP honors with Damian Lillard. Then never became anything.
It's a shame.
Shame never worked out for him.
Yeah. Well, Josh Selby, yeah, like we talked about a little bit ago, we had Klay Thompson's brother. Also, Mindog. Might remember Mindog, who's Minskis. He is a dog. Little Justin Holiday, the last of the Hainsboroughs. Ben Hainsborough. A lot of brothers in this draft. Zoran Dragic went this draft. Dwight Bikes got drafted. Well, yeah, they were undrafted. They were signed this year. They entered the draft, but we're not drafted. Dwight Bikes has one of the sickest highlights on YouTube. I would go check it out. It's a Dwight Bikes crossover or whatever, and you'll find it.
Yeah, you got Etuan Moore at the 55th pick here.
And right below him, how could we forget Chuck Woodbury?
They said his nickname was Choo Choo.
Chuck Woodbury Woodalbum.
Also, right below that, we had the first Qatari national player to be drafted in the NBA draft, Tanguy Ngombo. He never played a game, but
congratulations.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
And then also, just a lot of bullshit, too. Kyle Singler, Shelvin Mack, Sali, who I've said about 8 times, just because he was so horrible.
Kyle Singler. Duke product.
Yeah, just
Stud.
Jan Vesely was a 7-foot center who had a career average of 3.5 rebounds a game.
That's a shame. The number 6 pick.
Yeah, not sure what the Wizards were doing there.
For Brandon's Wizards, the Wizards were horrible. Like the Wizards,
lots of bad picks.
they were still like entrenched in hell, like post Gilbert Arenas hell.
Yeah. Jan Vesely also in his picture looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Like actual Shaggy or like Matthew Lillard?
You go take a look at it.
No, I know, but I just mean like the real life Shaggy, like in the movie.
He does look like Matthew Lillard. I would say.
I would say he looks more like the animated version of Shaggy.
Ooh, you want to hear something that really hurts? His Wikipedia says, due to his speed and court movement, Vesely has been compared to European NBA stars Dirk Nowitzki and Andrei Kirilenko. He also considered himself to be the second coming of Blake Griffin.
Oh my God.
Second coming of Blake Griffin.
Oh, also, when I was doing this research for this draft, we breezed right over Corey Joseph. And I talked to Bertolini about this yesterday, Matt. But so when I was doing some research on Corey Joseph, right, I saw that he is the captain for the Canadian national team. And I thought to myself, Corey Joseph, the captain? Because we've seen Corey Joseph play basketball. It's like shit. And then I looked at the roster, and I noticed something that I think we need to... I guess we just had our first official call out, but we can make our second official call out. The coach of the national team of Canada is Nick Nurse. You know where Nick Nurse is from, Matt?
Secaucus, New Jersey.
Iowa. Even more American. He's from the fucking heartland of Iowa.
Ooh.
There are few times where Canada's the enemy. This is one of the times. You gotta fucking... I don't care if you have to, like, go below your pay grade. You go fucking help us win. You go help Popovich. You don't fucking help the Canadians.
We don't need Nick Nurse.
It's just the principle of it. Like, I don't give a fuck if he coaches the Raptors. He could coach the fucking Mounties or the Alouettes or whatever horseshit fucking Canadian team. If he's American, he should not be allowed to coach the fucking Canadian national team.
Yeah, FIBA. What gives?
Also, Anthony Bennett's on the Canadian national team.
Ooh.
I think he is Canadian, though.
Oh, he is, yeah. He's just shitty. I just wanted to mention that he was on the team.
I would love to see Anthony Bennett drop 20 on Team USA in the Olympics.
On our shitty-ass U.S. team. Do we want to talk about that at all?
He's going to start. We can save
I think we can save the Olympic basketball for another episode.
Is there anything else we can talk about before we go? Anything else you want to say? We hope you enjoyed listening to the first episode and now the second episode of the 6 Balls, 1 Basket podcast. We're very excited to be here for you.
Draft season's coming up.
Yeah, draft season's coming up. We'll have a mock draft out. Next week, we'll probably have a Space Jam 2 review. Something else fun. We have a lot of fun ideas in the works. Does anyone want to say anything else before we leave?
No.
Nope.
All right, well, thanks.
Listeners.
All right, well,
Fuck the listeners.
All right, well, thanks everybody for listening. You have a great rest of your day. Be safe and stay healthy. This has been the 6 Balls, 1 Basket podcast. Pussy.
We would like to dedicate this episode of the podcast to Tyler Honeycutt and the Honeycutt family. Tyler Honeycutt, gone too soon. We miss you.